Hi, welcome to Messier Mantra. I'm your host, Mike Messier. We have a filmmaker in studio today. His name is Crosby Tatum. Right now we're going to take a look at the preview for his recent film, Confused by Love. Let's check out the preview for Confused by Love right here on Messier Mantra.
Tiffany!
What?
How much did you spend at the supermarket, baby?
$180.
What? Mortgage payment bounced. We're in default. And the house is about to be foreclosed.
Oh, this is all your fault!
Fergie, Reggie? Yeah. When'd you turn into LL? I understand what you're going through with Tiffany and the house and everything. Relax, man. Reg got your back. But I was hoping I could stay for a couple of days. I promise to compensate you for room and board and any expenses we may incur. Wait a minute. What do you mean by we?
Baby, come here. Missed you.
Why don't y'all play with us, man? Truth?
Or dare.
Yeah. Ain't no one got time for that. Come on, man.
My husband's broke. I mean, we haven't had sex in I don't know how long. And I can't even buy anything out of a Gucci store.
Okay.
To the people.
Confused by Love. Confused by Love, the trailer right here on Messier Mantra, and now the filmmaker, Crosby Tatum.
Pleasure.
Good to have you here, Crosby.
Oh no, it's an honor, it's a privilege and a pleasure to have be here on Messier Mantra, and hey, it's love, it's live, it's love, it's all good.
And I like your film a lot because I went to see it at that theater a couple of years ago, and it was like a packed house, and it was a lot of fun. And that was like a kind of like a cast and crew preview type of thing that I went to, and that was a really nice night.
So what happened was we got back. We actually premiered the movie in Atlanta in October 2015.
Yes.
At the Urban Media Makers Film Festival. It was my first film festival. My first film festival.
Yes.
I'd never been to a film festival before, and so we decided we wanted to do a hometown screening to, get people, more invested into the project. So we went to Kendall Square Cinema. Truth be told, there's a little bit of history between myself and Kendall because it was the previous movie that you're going to show, Surprise, Surprise. That's actually initially where we launched Surprise, Surprise at. So to come back to Kendall, it was kind of like vindication in a sense.
Yeah. Well, I remember what you're saying. There was a little bit of a technical issue at the previous screening, and so this was kind of a make-up type of thing, make everyone feel good.
Right.
And I think you did accomplish that because from what I saw, it was flawless. Confused by Love, the screening, you had maybe 200, 250 people in the theater, and everybody had a really good time. And the movie holds up, too. And you have some really good actors in there, and you also get great performance out of them, which is important.
No, I think like when you make a movie, you always want to have the best talent possible.
Right.
When you're starting out, when you're making your first project, it's good to have just to get your feet wet, get your friends, get your people involved. Let's have a little bit of fun, because we're starting off, it's kind of like you're starting from scrimmage. You're pretty much starting from the 0-yard line and you're trying to get to the 100-yard dash. And then basically when you go into your second or third project, you're actually getting more busier. So basically you say, okay, let's get some more professional people, let's get some more people involved, and you're off to the races.
Now I remember when I met you, I think it was the summer of 2012 or 2013, and our mutual friend Erica Derrickson, who began her group, Hollywood East Actors Group, online, had a nice event.
Right.
And basically she just kind of invited me, or it was actually your event that she invited me to, is what I should say.
Right.
And it was kind of a investor's pitch or kind of a meeting of sorts for you to kind of present your material for your first feature film, Surprise, Surprise.
Right. And like how Surprise, Surprise has done even to this day, it still baffles me because it was like that was such a passion project. Had to go through so many hoops and so many things that happen behind the scenes just to get that movie off the ground, that it still holds true for the most part. That it's a really powerful project, and really, I like to say that was really my film school right there.
And you started it, was either the chief and only writer or a co-writer, I'm not sure, but you directed the piece as well,
right,
and produced it. And let's take a look at the preview so to catch the audience up on Surprise, Surprise. We'll show that preview right now if we can. Here's the preview of Surprise, Surprise by Crosby Tatum.
What the hell? Ow! Meet Crosby Tyler, a bright college student with a big problem.
If I don't pass my philosophy class, I'm going to lose my full scholarship.
I'm going to assign you a special assignment. I want you to find out what attracts a female to a male from different philosophical perspectives.
Come again?
The solution was simple.
Check this out. It's called Loverspace.com. Loverspace will give you the edge you need to finish your project. I've already sent some notes to some cute girls who want to hook up with you.
The plan, however, not so much.
Crosby, right?
The one and only.
So, she's feeling me.
Yeah, man. She's feeling your mind and my body.
You and her are going out again.
Crosby, you are really killing my perfect 10 status right here.
Please.
Baby, you don't ever have to worry. Know that I'ma be here, baby, baby. All you have to do is call me, baby. I just wanna spend time with you. Show you what I'm about, baby, baby. All you have to do is call me.
I love you, man.
Shut up!
And that's the preview of Surprise, Surprise. And Crosby, I really like that film a lot because I know the hard work that you, especially, but your whole team, Jay Holland and everybody, your lead actress, JD, everyone really worked hard on that film. And I was, and who the lady that was helping you on that piece, I'm trying to remember her name. She was in the preview for just a moment.
Yeah, Opal.
Yeah, Opal was great, man. Opal's a cool lady.
I mean, like, we're all family, you know.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin, no matter what it is, at the end of the day, we're all family. And, you know, Opal and Jay and, you know, saying JD, Candace, Allison, our entire cast and crew, everyone that was involved with the project, it was just, I truly love those guys to the core.
Yeah.
You know, we've had such an amazing time, and there was a lot of personal things that were happening during that whole project.
Right.
That it kind of was like kind of skewed away. It took away from like, you know, what it truly could have been. But at the same time, it was just a fun project that, you know, you couldn't even tell that there were problems or whatever issues.
No,
it was just like one big, you know, one big dysfunctional happy family. And honestly speaking, that movie helped me grow.
Yes.
Because it's all about just getting it out there and just doing it.
Right.
You know, because in filmmaking, you don't have a book. I mean, you got a bunch of books, you know what I'm saying, from people who have different techniques and things of that nature. But the real big lesson that any filmmaker needs or wants is you just got to go out there and shoot your movie.
Right. Yeah, you just nailed it because that's, I think, what happens a lot of times. And I've studied a lot of film books and read them just for enjoyment, you know, Movie Maker's Master Class by Laurent Tarard and, you know, all these great film books. But when it comes down to it, you got to just make a movie.
Robert Rodriguez, right?
Oh, yeah, The Rebel Without a Crew. I was supposed to work on a project with a guy, and I said, well, before we work on this project, let me lend you this book, The Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez. Right. Well, he never gave the book back. We never made the project. So I learned my lesson. Never lend your film books out unless you don't want to get them back. But.
Yeah, or don't holler at a man named Peebo because like Peebo's on the street and he's actually going to like, you know, say snatch your books or whatever, just for the sake and sell it off like, you know, Let Go for $5.
Right.
I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, just real quick about Rodriguez. I mean, he in his book, in the first and second chapters, he talks about how he funded his first film. I think it was not El Mariachi, but Desperado, or El Mariachi, basically.
It was El Mariachi.
Right. Yeah. He funded it by going to human blood tests and human experiments. Like he would go to this compound, this medical compound, for like 30 days, and they would give him like $5 or $8 grand or something to like get tests done, like experiments. That's how he funded his film.
I was actually this is Messier Mantra. You're about to have an exclusive here.
Yes.
I was actually thinking about donating my sperm.
Wow.
To basically fund Surprise Surprise.
Ladies, in case you know the sequel is coming, so to speak, Crosby is available for the sequel.
So basically, if anyone needs any types of incisions or whatever,
sure.
And if there's going to be like a lot of kids who kind of have my nose or my eyes or whatever, just want to let you know it is from my seed.
Right.
I'm just saying. But. But you know, Surprise Surprise was just a fun project. It's really was such a learning experience, and whenever I see that trailer, I always get excited watching it and just like seeing all the work that we put into it. Especially you throwing me like all across the building, and then you know there was homeless people that were down the street when that was going on.
I remember that. That was the scene that we shot. That I was brought in kind of a thug or a bully character,
right?
And we're filming in a neighborhood where like a big, scary, you know, white guy in a leather jacket is probably not well received, beating up.
Oh man, like no, literally, like
just acting, folks.
No, we really had to protect you that day. We had to protect you. We had to make sure, because when you're in the hood,
right,
and you know, saying you don't see a brother, you see basically a Caucasian individual such as yourself,
right.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, right. And we're like, no, we're acting, really, we're friends.
You know what I'm saying? And so I remember that, and basically we had to almost like, in a way, kind of like get you out of there.
I think Tally Clemens, I gave Tally a ride home, because I'm like, Tally, do you mind if I give you a ride home? I'll go out of my way.
We had to make sure Tally, shout out to Tally Clemens, by the way, because he's a man.
Protected me, yeah.
But yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? Because we were like, let's get Mike out of here before they really start, before, like, you know what I'm saying, we have a crew come down, and then basically all this other stuff starts happening, and just big smorgasbord. We don't want to when anything happen to Mike.
Let's check out the other scene, because this other scene that we shot that I was in for your movie, Surprise Surprise, was not that experience, but it was another experience, which is actually a lot more. It was at like some public access studio somewhere in Boston or something. Really nice setup, and it was a movie theater scene, I believe. If we can, we'll check out that scene. Mike Messier in Surprise Surprise by Crosby Tatum. Let's check it out.
Don't go in there, honey. Don't go in there, honey. Oh, you stupid broad.
Oh my gosh, he's so obnoxious.
Tell me about it. I apologize, Cynthia. Could have been better visible, I should say.
It's okay. Every time you're a kid, it makes everything better.
I agree.
Oh, you're gonna die, honey. You're gonna die. Hey, turn that phone off.
I'm sorry, I thought it was off.
I don't need your explanations. I just need you to turn that phone off, or I'll turn it off for you. Trick.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't.
Hey, what's your issue?
She apologized about her phone ringing, but the way you talk to her is way out of line. I think you owe her an apology.
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't? Who's gonna make me?
Oh, good times. Good times. That was a fun scene. And we filmed that. That was Jay Holland and JD Sheila. She's great. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a fun scene. We filmed that in like a really nice studio somewhere in Boston, from what I remember.
It was Brookline Access Television, but I actually got in trouble for that.
Uh-oh.
I got blacklisted by Brookline.
Well, maybe there's a certain, because the time just flies by. I mean, that must have been 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
time flies.
So what happened, you know, what you didn't know after seeing that is the production ran out of money.
Yeah.
So I had to sort of use my resources to like make sure that we got that scene shot.
Right.
So, because everything from that point on was really coming out of my own pocket.
Yes.
So, as you know, from Surprise Surprise, we raised about $2,500.
Right.
Off of Kickstarter.
Which goes like that when you're making a feature film.
Yeah, like literally, we had it planned out for a whole month to get that movie shot.
Right.
Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yes.
But like I said, that's why I say it's a great learning experience because, you know, you just never know when it comes to movie making. But you gotta just dive on in and just, you know, make it happen.
And for me, coming in as just an actor for a couple hours, it really, what I'll give you credit because for me as an actor coming in, I had no idea that there was any problems going on. I thought everything was fine and dandy. And
well,
just,
that's because, you know, we got great problem solvers. I mean, Opal, Jojo, Jay Holland.
Right.
You know, our entire team, we all came together and just like, we just said, we're going to make this happen.
Right.
No matter what it is. And honestly, when you have a staff like that, when you have people like that on the skeleton crew for the most part,
right,
you want to make sure that you know what I'm saying, you want basically, yes, it is you're the captain of the ship, but you know what I'm saying, everyone else has a job and responsibility. You want to put people in great positions to succeed. So that basically it just makes your boat, you know, sail along much better. So, but the thing about it was, we actually, when I saw your talent, I was like, I can't write you. I just can't have you finish off in a day.
Right.
So what I did was I went back into the script and I said, okay, there's this line here. There's this character to help kind of get the tension going between Jay and Cynthia.
Right.
You know, Jay Holland and JD. So I said, let me write this little bit of lines for Mike, see if he comes in, bang that out in a day, and I think we wrapped you on that day as well.
Yeah, I think I was there for 2 days and just had a lot of fun with it. And I remember, like we talked about earlier, that there was like a Mexican restaurant or a restaurant that kind of in the hood, and it was kind of not well received because we were taking our scene into the streets, so to speak.
But let me just say, Merengues, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never been to Merengues in Roxbury, Massachusetts, I suggest you go there.
They were great people. The restaurant was nice. Just the people in the neighborhood were like, why is this dude, you know, me, you know, because we didn't tell them it was a movie, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Merengues was fantastic.
They were nice people.
I mean, the people who came down there, Ty Smith, Chinook Bunn. I mean, just, you know, some of the extras that came down to come and help out with the movie. I mean, that was like the power of Hollywood East, or
right,
you know, the Boston, you know, the New England film community coming together to make this project happen.
And I was really happy because just to see you in progress with your project, surprise, surprise, because like I said, Erica Derrickson had invited me to this event, and just kind of seeing that you had this whole like a PowerPoint presentation or actual printed up materials, and you were kind of renting a movie theater space, and I was pretty impressed at the time.
Right, which actually now thinking about it, I should have rented out a movie theater when we did that whole
that
theater scene, but because like as you know, Somerville Theater, like that's the space, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, it's really good. No matter what it is. But believe it or not, when we did the PowerPoint presentation, that was our second try. That was my second try at it.
Right.
Because a year before I tried my first time, and I was so nervous.
Right.
Like it just didn't go off. So it was like the second time, there was a lot of buzz and a lot of things happening with the movie. You know, on the pre-production side, we just needed to get it out there and just really just tell what's going to happen.
Now, is there a way for folks these days, if they want to see that full movie, surprise, surprise, is it on DVD or on demand or a website?
It's on Amazon. It's on YouTube. You can actually watch the movie for free now.
Okay.
Via our distributors, Maverick Entertainment. You can watch the movie there. You can order the DVD on Amazon. It's also available on Amazon Prime, so you can actually watch it on Amazon Prime. So please leave a rating for Surprise, Surprise. And also for Confused by Love, which is also now on Amazon. We're close to 100 reviews on Amazon. If it's not, you know, if not as a date, we probably hit 100 reviews already. But, you know, please watch it, leave a review, and we just thank you very much.
And what was the time frame after Surprise, Surprise until Confused by Love? Like, what were you kind of still wrapping up Surprise? Was there 6 months or a year in between those two projects, or what was the segue period, so to speak?
So, you know, we kind of mentioned like how surprise, surprise, how I got my, my vindication with Confused by Love and Kendall, right?
Right.
And there's a blog post about it, how I really explain it. It's on my website, crosbyt@tumblr.com. What happened was on the 31st, May 31st, we premiered the movie at Kendall. The movie was not completed. And basically we were late getting the movie to the theater, and the theater shut us off.
This is surprise by surprise.
So, this is surprise.
Right.
Yeah. But we got the movie done at least a month or two later.
Right.
And then basically, we went and did subsequent screenings of the movie in different places like Dedham and New York and Los Angeles. Coincide with different festivals. And I had to shout out Mr. M in San Francisco and his entire team, the Monkey Gang film crew, Casey, Mighty Casey. He had the song "White Girls" that was on BET Adult, as they like to say.
Sure.
He and his crew, they helped us out tremendously with pushing the movie and really being all that. But after I got done with Surprise, like really wrapping everything up, I just felt like I needed to know more.
Okay.
I just said like, okay, you did Surprise. Let's go back to the drawing board so that you can get better.
Right. So
I connected with a filmmaker in Chicago. His name is Christopher Nolan. He was working with a lot of Black Hollywood talent that you're seeing working in LA right now. They work on TV shows and things of that nature. I can name a bunch of people like Brian Hooks, Christian Keys, Tim and Kyle Durrett. He's on Queen Sugar right now. People like Robin Givens from Boomerang, Jasmine Lewis from Barbershop, and Cinda Williams from Mo Better Blues.
Wow.
And like I'm getting introduced to all these people, and then I'm editing, and I have a producer title under those films. But being an editor, being an editor working on those high level films, kind of helped my storytelling a little bit better.
Sure it did. Yeah.
And then so after he made this movie called 72 Hours, after it premiered on BET and things of that nature, I just said, you know what? I think I'm ready to go back into it again. And that's when I started writing Confused by Love. It was September 2014 after the DVD for Surprise came out. I remember you was there at the DVD release party.
Yes.
What you didn't see that night was me rapping to the theme song of the movie.
I probably had to drive back to Rhode Island.
Yeah, you probably were driving back to Rhode Island. Yeah. There's a video online with me rapping to it.
It was near Fenway. Was that the event? It was near
House
Fenway?
of Blues.
Yeah,
You got to credit Jay Holland for hooking that whole thing.
Yeah, it was a nice night. Yeah.
It was awesome too. And there was a game and the Red Sox won that night too. So it was like
can't beat it.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful night. What I don't like about that night was that I had to stay in my car. My car got locked into the garage. I had to wait 3 hours to get the car out. Then I had to jump on a plane to Chicago, throughout that day. And then basically I actually made lunch late that day because of my antics.
Well, you know what it is? It's like sometimes, life as an independent artist, you go for weeks, months at a time, even years at a time, where nothing big, crazy happens. And then suddenly, all in one night, you have these 5-star days, so to speak. Oh my God, like you're having a party, you're on an airplane, you're getting locked out of your car.
Oh my goodness, man.
Parking garage.
It's like, the life of an independent artist is crazy enough, man. Like, you could go days without sleeping and just, it's just crazy.
Now so Confused by Love, for me, when I saw this final piece, at the screening, I was really impressed with the acting and the actors, and I said those separately because the acting really is a combination of their inherent talent, their inherent skills going into the piece, and what you brought to the table as a director and the script that you've kind of given them to work with.
Right.
So not only were they great actors to begin with, Jordan Lloyd and was the gentleman's name Simba?
Simba Dominga.
Right, and the lead guy with the beard and all these
Keith
great.
Maskell.
Right, and his wife is just a gorgeous female actress.
Yes,
very talented.
Jamie Perez.
Right.
Keith Maskell, Jamie Perez, Jordan Lloyd, Simba Dominga, Kelly Caravides, Damashette Ross. I mean, all talented actors. And I think, with my lessons working on the Christopher Nolan films, working with SAG, with the Screen Actor Guild actors, and ladies and gentlemen, it is not, you can work with a Screen Actors Guild actor. You know what I'm saying? Just because they got a nice car doesn't mean like, oh, I should stay away from them. No. You want the best. Hire them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're becoming easier to work with the union as far as projects with lower budgets than the Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you just got to make sure your stuff is on point. But for me, it was like, okay, I got this great story. It was once called an awkward tale until I walked upstairs and I said, well, there's nothing awkward about this movie. It sounds like everyone's confused. They're confused by love.
Yeah, that's a nice title. I'd like the title, and the piece works very well as kind of a heady, intellectual kind of dinner party movie. You can kind of sit there at home with a glass of wine and watch it on Amazon or something, or and enjoy this film because I really dig it.
Right.
And I really like the presentation and that night that I saw it. But I think what we're going to do, Crosby, is we're going to share some clips. And then we'll talk more about Confused by Love.
Yeah, let's roll with it.
Okay, so let's check out some clips of Confused by Love by Crosby Tatum right here on Messier Mantra.
Mr. Ferguson Middlebecker?
How can I help you?
Robert Wilson, Alife Mortgage. Here you go.
Thanks.
By the way, I'm down with the cause.
Excuse me?
Your name is Ferguson, right?
Yeah.
I'm down with the cause, brother. Power to the people.
It's just funny, and I think we've got some more clips. Well, let's talk about that clip real quick first. Who's the? It's the lead guy who answers the door, and then who's the kind of supporting character who knocks on the door?
So the person answering the door, his name is Kelly Karavides. He's a wonderful, talented actor working out in New York City.
Right.
We connected a couple of years ago when we had a mutual friend. He premiered his short film in Tribeca, and so basically he was thinking about contributing to our campaign on Indiegogo,
right? Which
we did. We did do another campaign for Confused by Love, and so he basically had a role in the movie based on what he contributed, and also as a producer on the project.
Right.
So I just wrote this line in here where I was like, well, we just had Ferguson happen in the country. So, and then we got this guy, his name's, I just said the last names of those guys who were in St. Louis combined together because he's basically the bearer of bad news to his family. So Mr. Robert Wilson, look it up. Basically, he hands him the letter about the mortgage, but that the mortgage bounced. And I just wanted to we did a gag about this in my old television show called The Block Presents, where we had a white guy play a black guy.
Right.
So I said, let me just take that gag and put it in here.
Okay.
So it's stuff that we've been doing for years, under the Triceptus Studios banner that we just said, okay, let's apply that here.
Let's put this joke. Yeah. Because he pulls it off pretty good. Yeah. And it's the character, at least in the clip as it stands alone, is like the overcompensating white guy trying to be cool or hip or trying to be down with the cause as he says it. Right. I think he pulls it off. I think it's a funny scene.
Yeah, no, he had to show a great amount of restraint to make sure that he didn't laugh his ass off.
Right.
But at the same time, he also had it's almost like the Grim Reaper coming to your door.
Right.
And you want to just you want to get this guy out of your room to basically, mess up, so he doesn't mess up the feng shui of the entire situation. So for us, it was working with Kelly, he was just a pleasant guy to work with.
Yes.
Funny story, that clip that you saw, we actually had to reshoot that. So what happened was on the day that he came in, I'm not going to say his name, or the person who caused the situation, but he messed up our data transfer for that scene, and then our director of photography formatted his card, so basically we lost the footage, most of the footage we shot for that day.
Yeah.
Not the ones that we basically shot beforehand, which we thank God.
Right.
Thank the good Lord. So we actually had to reshoot that the next day, and we actually had an 18-hour shoot day for that project. And that was our last day.
The human factor is the term that can be used for.
We can say the human factor,
right?
Or we can say we kind of predicted that something like that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because like when I wrote our dialogue on our campaign page,
right?
I said things happen on film sets. Film, footage gets lost. Accidents happen. Stuff happens. Let's just be honest. So for us to say that it was, we try not to make it happen, but it happens anyway. It's an obstacle you got to get around.
And people that maybe are new to making films or have never made a film will always be so indignant or confused, so to speak, by why do you need extra hours, or why do you put extra days in your schedule if you can help it? Because just what you experienced, and I've experienced it too. Crazy things happen that you don't plan for, and you could have all the money in the world, you could have all the time in the world, but something's going to happen. Some Murphy's Law situation is going to happen.
Yeah, no, it does. Like I remember on Surprise, Surprise, when we were shooting Candace in one of my scenes, somebody messed up and jammed one of the compact flash cards into the camera the way you're not supposed to.
Right.
Broke one of the pegs, and I had to get the camera repaired.
Oh boy.
So then we had to take a weekend off.
Oh.
And then basically I had to go and rent another camera to finish up most of the scenes that we need to finish up with.
It was probably another $200 or something to fix the camera.
Oh my gosh, that was
Well, let's take another clip from Confused by Love. Let's take out some more clips.
What's now, Ferguson?
The mortgage payment bounced. We're in default. And the house is about to be foreclosed.
What?
The house is going to foreclosure, Tiffany.
Why? What did you do, Ferguson?
What did I do? What'd you do?
How dare you?
Now, who's that actress?
So that's Jamie Perez.
Okay.
She's basically, her location's around the New York, New Jersey area.
Right.
Funny story, Brian Hooks from Three Strikes, he actually referred me to her because Jamie was in his movie. I totally forgot what the name of the movie is. Brian, please forgive me. I apologize. He basically, referred me to her. She came in. She actually drove 8 hours from Jersey to Boston to audition for me, and I was like, "You already got the job. I'm sorry. Like whoever else is auditioning is just like for filler."
Right.
And that's not to take away from all the wonderful actresses that that auditioned for us. We had a certain look that we were looking for, and she was it.
Well, she pulled it off great, and the lead guy I like a lot too. Let's take a look at another clip from Confused by Love.
Why don't y'all play with us, man? Truth? Yeah.
Or dare?
Yeah. Ain't no one got time for that. Come on, man. Yo, let's just play truth or dare. Yo, look, it'll help you relax so you guys can deal with things better. You know what I'm saying?
Crosby, what is the storyline of Confused by Love for those that haven't seen it yet?
So the storyline for Confused by Love is about an author by the name of Ferguson Middlebecker who he and his wife Tiffany are broke and they're about to lose their home to foreclosure. And hope comes in the form of Reggie Maxwell, who is Ferguson's former best friend, and JoJo, who is Ferguson's ex-girlfriend, now dating Reggie, who both offered to stay with them to save their home if they could live at their house for 5 days straight.
Right.
So basically, it's kind of like if you're, saying if let's just say me and you are married, and we invite another couple to stay with us, so that they can help us with the, the mortgage payment.
Right. And that setup kind of lends itself to some other conversations, innuendos, and things left unsaid, so to speak.
Right. So, hidden secrets, untold truths. They all get revealed. They're all on the table when basically not just a home is up for grabs, but a marriage and relationships are now up for grabs as well. When you mix all these things into one. So I said, well, I never really, we have a movie like Have Plenty that basically had like all these people and their issues coming under one roof. So I was like, let me try to do this with 4 characters, try to minimize the location as much as possible, and let's say, hey, let's try to get these people and their issues. Let's try to, talk about it.
I liked the movie a lot because, like I said, it's a good movie if you had a date night at home with a glass of wine, you're watching this movie. It kind of lends itself to conversation and intrigue and really great performances once again. I think we have one more clip if we can check out the final clip.
My husband's broke. I mean, we haven't had sex in, I don't know how long. And I can't even buy anything out of a Gucci store. I'm an embarrassment to my family and my community.
Oh, Tiffany, no, it's not that bad, Tiffany. It really isn't. No.
Crosby, is that Jordan Lloyd in that scene?
That is Jordan Lloyd.
I've met her on a couple of film sets, and we had been, online buddies and all that. Finally meeting her, what a nice lady she is.
She's fantastic. She's wonderful to be around. Did you know when I got the ball rolling with the production, she was the first person I actually looked to.
Right.
That I actually hired, because I just saw Jordan and I just saw she's wildly talented. She's very passionate about the business, and I just said, saying there's nothing that she's really doing right now.
Is she doing music as well? Maybe I'm making that up. I thought she did something with music. I thought she sang as well. Or something.
You gotta ask her.
Yeah, maybe.
But I just saw a lot of talent and promise with her.
Right.
And I said, let me give her a shot. I mean, we've known each other for many years.
Yes.
Even before she wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be a director. We actually went to church together at the Charles Street AME Church. And I remember she was, very shy to herself. And me, in a way, she told me at one point that it was me with my antics inspiring, with spoken word and poetry in church that kind of helped her to branch out and to try acting. And, I'm so thrilled with what she's doing, the woman that she's becoming. And she was the first one that I looked to, and I said, I want to give Jordan a chance. I want to give Keith a chance. I want to give Simba a chance. I want to give all these guys a chance, because I really want to have a good African-American centered story.
Right.
Tell it in this way, and then basically, let's just see what happens.
I think the movie's really cool. I really enjoy it. I liked it a lot. And
yeah.
So what's next for either these pieces, Surprised and Confused by Love, or what's next as far as a new project from you, Crosby?
Well, so Confused by Love is going to continue to do its touring all across the country. We're now on video on demand. We're on Amazon Prime, Google Play, YouTube, iTunes. I mean, we're all across the board right now, so anyone can watch the movie. If you got an Amazon Prime membership, you can actually watch the movie for free.
Great.
And you can actually leave a review after you finish watching the movie. And surprise, surprise, you can watch it on Amazon Prime as well, and also order the DVD. That's available now. And I got a couple more projects that I'm lining up right now for 2018. 2018 is going to be a very busy year for Tricepta Studios.
Is there anything you want to mention about these new projects? Are they in the wraps, or is there anything you can say in advance?
What I can say right now, we're working on a project, short film called Argyles, starring Keith Maskell. We're working together in conjunction with the Triggered Project, centered around his one-man piece story that he's trying to put together. I believe he has the show's coming in December 2017, and then we'll be in production with the short in January of next year. And then I also have two other movies I'm writing right now.
Oh, great!
Currently, that I'm putting together. One is called Crazy Dates. It's about a woman who has a voodoo spell cast on her, and she has to find a man in those 8 days as she's attracted by all other men that she comes into contact with.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you cast that one yet?
No. None of these are casted yet, but these are projects that I got lined up right now.
Yeah.
There's that, and then I'm also, believe it or not, I'm delving into the horror.
Okay.
The horror genre. In my other movie I want to do is called One Dead Body.
That's a pretty cool title. It's a very cryptic title. And One Dead Body, I think it paints an image. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, it does paint an image because there's a dang dead body here.
Yeah, right. One dead body, what are you going to do?
I mean, say, what are you going to do if you see a dead body on the ground?
Yeah, right.
You're gonna poke a stick at it?
Yeah, right.
You're gonna be like, oh, I think you did. Yeah, you did.
What size shoes are you wearing? So let's. Is there a mantra, Crosby, as we talk about your film career and everything? Is there some type of slogan or a mantra or an expression that you'd like to share with the Messier Mantra world?
I think that the best one is working will when wishing won't. It's the 4 W's, you know.
Working will when wishing won't. I like that.
Yeah, I mean...
I think that's 5 W's, actually.
Yeah, actually, it's 5 W's.
5 W's.
I mean, like, working will when wishing is 4, actually.
Working will when wishing won't.
No, you're 5. It's 5.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Messier Mantra.
Yeah,
there we go, ladies and gentlemen.
So working, and you know what? You're right, because we see these things, you know, I mean, trust me, I've had my battles with the social media world, but you go on there, and people a lot of times will express themselves, or they'll emoji something, or they'll tweet or they'll Facebook update, some type of sentiment about what they'd like to be doing with themselves. But yet it's people like yourself that are actually out there on the battleground fighting for art.
I've learned in this new age of technology and accessibility that your story can really, you can just tell your story.
Right.
Just a button of a camera or just anything else. And trust me, I've seen a lot of worse stuff where people have done where they just hit a button and it's out there, like, you know, for people to view.
Right.
I just think that, like, you know, we all get complacent in our lives, that we suddenly just don't do anything. And for me, it's like, I come from a family that, you know, we work hard, and that's all we do. There's been nobody that really had a dream. They're just like, I just want to provide for my family and just work. And as much as I love that, it kind of drives me crazy, because it's like, well, what else do you got? Where else are you going?
Did you grow up in Massachusetts?
Yes, I'm born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, in Roxbury.
Nice. Did you have brothers and sisters? Or?
I do have, from what I know, I have 3 sisters. I have 4 brothers. They're all adults. They're all, you know, really adults now, like in their 40s and 50s and stuff like that. I'm really the youngest of the family. They're all born on my father's side.
Or do you think there was anything with you being the youngest of the kids that film was kind of like your signature world, so to speak?
Honestly, I never really wanted to get into film, believe it or not. I actually wanted to make music and, you know, be one of Diddy's producers, or, you know, be like, you know, Wu-Tang's producer, you know, things like that. I wanted to get into music, make beats, and, you know, really just, you know, express myself through there. I've come to found that music is like, film is like music in a sense. There are certain beats and there are certain chords that you can hit that you can, you know, emote the audience and make them feel something. And then basically what happens is you take people on a ride, the way like a song takes you like through certain different emotions.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, I could think of like Michael Jackson. He would take you on such a ride with like that, you know, just different beats, melodies, like any jazz musician, like, you know, John Coltrane or, you know, B.B. King, things like that.
I met a guy named Stanley Jordan once, who was
there we go,
jazz guitarist extraordinaire, and I got to interview him, and wow, what a guy. And he did something where, this was in North Carolina where I saw him perform, and he performs for 2 hours, this maestro of jazz electric guitars and all these instruments, and then at the end of the show, being North Carolina, he's doing his encore and someone screams out, "Freebird," you know, as kind of a joke. Guess what? He starts playing Freebird, you know, the Leonard Skinner song. He starts playing it, and it was just so amazing, that he didn't miss a beat, that he just played it, how he played it was amazing. And then when I asked him about it in the interview, he said, hey, you know, if the audience is making fun or they're having a good time, or that's a running joke in the South or whatever, Freebird, he's like, I'm going to play that song just to prove I can do it. And they're going to enjoy it, because he's such a good musician that he can play Freebird, and it's amazing the way he plays it.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it's like film art, there's a certain rhythm and there's a certain beat to it.
Right.
And when you've gone through the things that I've gone through, if you can just like pace it, and you could just like, you know, stretch it, and then you could get people to feel those beats, feel those rhythms, feel those moments, you know, people are going to enjoy it. People are going to love it. And my stories are really, just underdog stories.
Right.
Because I oftentimes would be overlooked or underestimated, or I could just put my own spin on things and just say, well, here's this really good king, this king of the world, but yet he's all alone by himself. And he's trying to find himself.
Right.
Wouldn't you want to be on that ride to see how that king is going to find himself so that he could rule? Because the king, he probably had, he's going to find a friend, but he also has a person that's going to be opposing him.
Right.
How is he going to get to there? Things like that. Disney Pixar, the greatest example of storytelling. Any Disney Pixar movie that's out there, they have like 18 beats of like, of what the character goes through.
Hero's journey type of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the hero's journey, like Star Wars, the hero's journey.
Joseph Campbell type of stuff.
Exactly.
Thinking about surprise, one thing we saw in the preview, but I didn't really mention it too much, was you starred in that film. You directed that film. I think you were either the only writer, or was it a co-writer, or were you the only writer on
it? No. That story was actually by Laz Jock Holland.
Okay.
He actually came up with the story for surprise. It was kind of funny. We were on the phone and we were writing. I was writing the beats out,
right?
Line by line, things like that, which was ugh.
Wow.
So we had to go over it. Like we were back and forth trying to get a draft together. It took us 2 years to come up with that draft.
Wow.
And then basically, and this is me not knowing the nuances of screenwriting.
Right.
The original script. 131 pages.
Wow.
And as you can imagine, we had to
clip. Because just so people know, a page of screenwriting writing is about a minute. So you're looking at like a 130-minute movie, which is over 2 hours for a comedy. You probably wanted that more like 80 or 90 minutes.
Yeah, if we were to get like around the 80 to 90-minute page limit,
right?
That's great. 85 or 90 pages. Nowadays.
And what I was saying is I like the movie because you star in it, so it really is like you're the hero of the movie, and it's not like you're this guy going out destroying the world. There's a lot of vulnerability, there's a lot of insecurities, and it's kind of, was that Cyrano de Bergerac, that type of story?
Yeah, it was really just the Cyrano de Bergerac, arc, where basically he's insecure about himself.
Right.
And he is trying to he wants this girl that he sees to like him. So he basically says, let me just go and get this other guy who looks like he's the hottest thing in the world, but it's not really him.
Right.
To basically play off, in a sense.
And there was the film Roxanne with Steve Martin and Daryl Hannah so many years ago, where the guy had like the long nose. But in this case, what the element you're using is kind of social media dating, like, because even when you see the preview, was it Loverspace?
Yeah, Loverspace.com.
Did you get the URL for that? Did you get the domain?
We had to do something funky for that.
Yeah.
Like, we actually wanted to build like the whole Loverspace platform, like totally like legit.
Yeah.
Don't think we could do that now, but we tried our best, to make Loverspace happen, and it was like I said, it was just a real fun experience, just putting that all together, and that was going to be his platform of choice to find the girl of his dreams. Actually, now you reminded me about the first script that we wrote about it, which was, if I could read that back, I could probably grab every shot for every time I said, but how? I'd probably be on the floor or something like that.
Let's take out. We've got some still photographs from the new piece, "Confused by Love." Let's check out, why don't we get a chance, these still photographs, because still pictures. Here we go. This is your lead actress.
That's Mike Messier.
Yeah, well, right. Well, that's here we go with your lead actor and actress kind of having a moment, so to speak.
Believe it or not, I shot that. Believe it or not.
Oh, well, that's good. That's nice.
So that scene right there, as you can see, that's basically Ferguson and Tiffany. They're at the breaking point of their relationship. You got to see the movie to understand what's going to happen after that point.
Right.
So, I can't believe I shot that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks great. Yes, that's great. Let's just see what else. Here we go. Now that's.
I like how this was beautifully lit by Naveed John Namazi and our Chris Tremblay. He's a amazing gaffer.
Right.
Like how this is portrayed.
Is that Jordan now?
That is Jordan.
Right. Okay.
And one of the more important scenes of the film.
Yes. I like your necklace, the green kind of aqua green.
Sanika Wilson pretty much put together this ensemble. We left her the entire wardrobe, hair, makeup. That was under Sanika, believe it or not. She did hair, makeup, wardrobe, and all that stuff.
The light in Jordan's hair is looking great, and on the necklace and the shadow and everything looks great.
The framing of it, I believe it was Alan Sinclair that took this shot. He was our still photographer. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you have a still photographer on your set because they're going to. Promotional pieces are so grand. You need stills like this.
Yes. Here's a cool scene. Now, what's going on here?
So this is actually kind of like the moment where things really, really start to get bad. Picture by the red. I'm not going to say anything else that happens, but let's just say a lot of stuff starts happening after this.
Gotcha.
Or during this event, which
there we go. This is a cool shot.
Now this is before this is pretty much the good times.
Right.
Their wedding day for the most. Ferguson and Tiffany.
Yeah.
Now here's the story that people don't know is that when this was happening, when they were taking these stills of this scene, I was already in my mind. I was already saying, I got our opening introduction.
Right.
Overcrank the camera. Slow motion, let them do what they do, saying that they're in love. And I was like, because we never figured out what the opening for the movie was going to be. Like the opening credits. And I was like, this is going to be
even the
awesome.
Flowers look great. Yeah.
So Sanika did this as a good wedding collection. I might have that for my wedding if I ever have a moment.
Sure.
Because I actually love that cream. And yeah, that's me. A few pounds lighter.
Here you are directing the film.
This is our final day. This is you remember when I talked to you about that day, the 18-hour day that we needed because the footage was getting erased?
Yes.
Well, this is me. I'm actually instructing Keith on what I'm looking for, what I need for that particular scene. There was actually a bit that when Kelly is, as you see Kelly there, he's tired as well because he was actually on a train coming back going to New York. We had to actually get him back over here.
Wow, devoted guy. Yeah.
He's wonderful. So there's something that Kelly said that basically I needed him to end off with as he was continuing that scene.
Right.
So little things that you pick up when you're directing.
Look at this group picture.
And this is our opening at the Urban Media Makers Film Festival 2015, Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice. At
the Hilton Atlanta Norcross Hotel. This is actually my first time I was in Atlanta.
It's a great picture.
And we were the closing night film.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I was like, you put us as a closing night film, and we only had a rough cut of the movie.
Well, I guess they liked it. I mean, why not? I mean,
so I was like, okay, well, let me just clean it up a little bit. Let's put a little bit of sound design.
Right.
And, that took us 2 days to put that together, a rough 2 daid. But me and Naveed, we pretty much put that. We got it done, and that's the challenges that you do as an independent artist. It's like, by hook or crook, you're going to find a way to get things done.
You've got to get it through.
Yeah, and to color correct it, I had to actually go and buy. The color suite from Red Giant.
Okay.
So that was like $300 I had to shelve out just to.
All these unexpected costs, and they always fall on the mighty shoulders of the big daddy producer director of the piece, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I think we were out of money at that point for Confused Hello too.
When you say we, it usually means you, as the director, producer.
Yeah, but I think of all of us as a team.
I understand.
We're a strong team, and we try to do the best that we can to mitigate whatever circumstances that fall behind us. So I'll put it to you like this. Yeah, it's gonna fall on me. Yeah, it's gonna come out of my pocket, but just imagine what people are going to feel when they see it.
Hey, that's great.
I take my marketing and my tidbits. We're both mutual fans of it. Professional wrestling.
Yes.
WWE. Only game in town.
Well, there's the New Japan guys and everything, but yeah.
Did you hear about Omega and Jericho?
Not only did I hear about it, I did a YouTube video about it and got 140 views in like 6 hours.
Dude, I'm so psyched about Wrestle Kingdom. I'm so psyched about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Like it's basically WWE.
Impact Wrestling, I guess.
You can't even consider Impact number 2, can you?
No, they would be by default, but you've got Ring of Honor and
Ring of
all
Honor.
these things.
Ring of Honor is blowing up. I mean, Wrestle Kingdom is doing fantastic. I know Jay Holland. He has a new podcast called the Unsanctioned Podcast.
Oh, interesting.
So he actually had Ahmed Johnson on there.
Oh, wow.
MVP, a bunch of wrestlers. So every guys download the Unsanctioned Podcast. Him and his boy Luis. I forget what the website is. Find me on Facebook. Facebook.com/CrosbyT123. I'll hook you guys up with the Unsanctioned Podcast. It's starting to make a little bit of noise.
Well, pro wrestling, to give it credit,
it's a great marketing.
Now, were you going to say, was that something that's instrumental in your marketing? Inspiring?
When I look at a movie, I think of it as an event.
Okay.
Movies are events that people come together that people get excited for. You know how you know how wrestling they say that like they're movies in a way.
Yes.
Vince McMahon said that.
Right.
So you think about these characters and you think about these different situations and how you promote it and how you market it through videos, through live events, through social media, through
merchandise deals, whatever.
Philanthropic, intentions.
Right.
You think about that stuff and you promote it in such a way that people can get excited about it.
Right.
That why wouldn't you not try to use that type of technique or those situations? So that's really like how my editing style and how my market style is kind of predicated. It's like I literally I would watch a dozen with wrestling promos and I would just like put that down on the trailers and I think like, okay, for certain movie trailers how we play it out, this would be cool if we did this, that, and that. And that's kind of like how my mind works.
That's pretty cool, Crosby, because I mean tonight, and I know that you're a wrestling fan, and I wore the Ric Flair shirt today because the ESPN's doing a 30 for 30 doc on.
I cannot wait.
And I think it's very interesting. Yeah, me neither. And it's just who would have thought that when we were kids that ESPN would feature not Hulk Hogan but Ric Flair. You know what I mean?
I know, it's wild.
It's pretty interesting.
It's so crazy.
Because he was always the wrestler's wrestler, not the show business guy. He was the guy who wrestled in North Carolina, wrestled in Georgia, Florida.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And
He'll go anywhere and do whatever he needed to do for the company that he was a part of because he has that loyalty to him. But he also wanted to get in the ring with the best guys. He wanted to be number one, no matter where it was.
Who's your favorite wrestler, either growing up or now?
Jeez. I mean, honestly speaking, love Hulk Hogan, but I actually was a Ric Flair guy.
Well,
I was a Ric Flair guy, like through and through. Like my very first wrestling match I saw, Sting versus Ric Flair, Clash of Champions 1.
We are out of time, my friend.
Thank you very much,
Crosby
sir.
Tatum, right here on Messier Mantra. Thanks for watching.